So now it's the time for the easy stuff, Prime Minister. Which is the more important, our intelligence relationship with the United States or our commercial relationship with Communist China?
We have, as you know, a very particular intelligence relationship with the United States, and we continue to work with the United States in that deep and special way that we always have done. That relationship is the deepest relationship across both security and defence issues, and we continue that relationship and maintain that relationship.
Okay, I'll draw the appropriate inference from that. Do you agree that China is an oppressive one-party state, and are you aware of Article 14 of China's National Intelligence Law, passed in June 2017, which empowers the agencies of the Chinese state to, and I quote, request of relevant organs, organisations and civilians to provide necessary support, assistance and cooperation to those agencies?
Yes, I am aware of that. And I'm also aware, to complete the first question that you asked me, that there are obviously commercial opportunities in relation to China. We have developed that relationship with China. I took a trip of business people, a trade trip to China, which was successful in opening opportunities for British companies in exporting, and indeed British farmers in exporting to China. And it's important, as we look at the future of this country, that we recognise the needs both for our security and our prosperity.
Okay. Last December, our own Foreign Office issued a press release entitled UK and Allies Reveal Global Scale of Chinese Cyber Campaign. It blamed a group called APT-10, operating under the Chinese Ministry of State Security, for mounting what our Foreign Secretary described as, and I quote, one of the most significant and widespread cyber intrusions against the UK and allies to date, targeting trade secrets and economies around the world. So do you accept that the Chinese regime does indeed engage in systematic cyber espionage against us and our allies?
There are many who are, we are aware of the necessity of ensuring our cybersecurity because of the threats that there are to cybersecurity. We are, as a country, we have been willing to call out those who we have seen attacking us in this way. There are a number of players out there, state and non-state players, who do this, and we are
specific.
Willing to call out those who do it.
And on this occasion, last December, we called out China, didn't we?
We did.
Right. Do you accept that the telecommunications firm Huawei is intimately linked with the Chinese Communist government and its deeply hostile intelligence agencies?
If I may expand my answer to this question. Now, you will be aware that Huawei is officially owned by its employees and is a private Chinese company. However, we have robust procedures in place to manage risks to national security today and are committed to mitigating future risks. I don't think you can describe me as somebody who has been lax in relation to national security. If you look at my record, I have been, the decisions I take are decisions that are taken in the interests of national security.
But you're not contradicting me when I'm suggesting that Huawei is intimately linked with the Chinese Communist government and its deeply hostile intelligence agencies, are you?
I said Huawei is officially owned by its employees and is a private Chinese company. We look, but the issue of cybersecurity is not an issue. Is not an issue of one country. One company. The issue of cybersecurity is one that we have put significant resource into. We have developed our National Cybersecurity Centre. That is an organisation that I think is well respected across the world for the work that it does. We do want to ensure that as we look to the future development of telecoms networks and networks here in the United Kingdom, that we can ensure the greater resilience of those networks, that we improve cybersecurity.
Prime Minister, why did your deputy, David Liddington, say in response to that question that I've just put to you that, quote, legally speaking, Huawei is a private firm and not a government-owned company? Isn't it really rather vacuous to talk in such terms in the context of a totalitarian communist state with laws, of which you've said you're aware, compelling companies to cooperate with its intelligence agencies?
I have indicated the position in relation to the nature of Huawei, as I said, as a private Chinese company.
But that's meaningless, isn't it? In the context, you cannot have a company of that size purporting to be private in a totalitarian communist regime. You and I, Prime Minister, grew up in the Cold War. We know the nature of these regimes, and we know that it is utterly unbelievable to suggest that a company structured like that in a communist society has any sort of independence from a government which has passed a law requiring such companies to cooperate with its intelligence agencies. Isn't that a pretty bulletproof chain of logic?
What is important is how we deal with these issues of cybersecurity. And as I indicated earlier, we are aware of the ability of both state and non-state actors to gain access to telecoms infrastructure. In relation to Huawei, currently we have the Huawei Cybersecurity Evaluation Centre that assesses component and software destined for use in UK telecommunications to identify potential vulnerabilities. And the most recent Oversight Board report noted concerns of cybersecurity in Huawei products, but found no evidence of state interference. And that is, this is an issue that we take extremely seriously. As I say, we're aware of the ability of both state and non-state actors to deal in this issue.
I have to stop. Can I just urge you to take the time to have a look at the June 2003 report of the Intelligence and Security Committee on which I served at the time, not just the published version of the report, but the unredacted version of the report, to which you obviously have access, and see, once you've read that, if you really believe that there's nothing to worry about espionage from Huawei.